TikTok, one of the world's most valuable tech startups, has postponed multiple meetings scheduled on Capitol Hill this week. An executive was expected to meet with lawmakers as the company faces increasing scrutiny over privacy practices and alleged ties to China's Communist Party. TikTok also tells CBS News it's postponing the meetings until after the holidays to ensure they are, quote, productive. CNET senior producer Dan Patterson joins us now to talk more about the questions surrounding TikTok. So I got to admit, Dan, for a generation, Gen X, that helped invent the modern internet, right? I mean, Sergey Brin, Larry Page, Jack Dorsey, even Tom Anderson from MySpace, these guys are all Gen Xers. Never heard of TikTok. Don't know what it is. Don't even know what the interface looks like. So I got to believe that there are some Gen Xers watching us here on CBSN. What the heck is TikTok?
We look old to everyone who loves TikTok. They're looking at us like, oh, you are not in
I thought I was caught up with Snapchat, but clearly left in the dust.
Snapchat's great, Vlad, but it's for us fogies. Look, I challenge anyone not to have fun with TikTok. Okay. It's a blast. Look, this is a video application that allows you to kind of sing along with or make short little memes and funny jokes that are great for your friends and for followers. The problem is that TikTok, for the last year, has been embroiled in privacy and censorship scandals. So this same company that enables all of this fun in these short little bites also enables quite a bit of data sharing back to Hong Kong.
What kind of data sharing?
Or back to Beijing,
yeah.
I'm sorry. Yeah, so there have been a number of issues with these, the amount of information that is gathered by not just users, by users under the age of 13. Marsha Blackburn has called the company out a number of times saying, hey, look, you are gathering this data and not talking to us here, regulators here in the Senate. And this is the second time the company has postponed. They say that this is about logistics, but it's pretty clear that the company, which is the world's most valuable startup, ByteDance, based in China, has some pretty strong differences from regulators in D.C.
All right, no shade on 13-year-olds, but what kind of data is China trying to gather from 12, 13, 14-year-old kids using this?
Well, first is facial recognition data. There are also voice patterns. That seems kind of big and abstract. It's hard for us to really understand how our face or voice could be used. But when we stand in line at airports, we see that Delta is using facial recognition technology, which is becoming more mainstream. But there's also the data that we call metadata. That's the type of device you're using, how long you connect to an application. All of this data, Vlad, we've said it before, we'll say it again, is the new oil. It is far easier to target advertising and other types of e-commerce when we know exactly not just who you are, but what you want and when you want it.
All right, so TikTok's not turning up for this meeting with members of Congress, but they had also been previously asked to appear before Congress to talk about their relationship, the parent company's relationship with China. They didn't show up then. What happened?
Well, again, they had logistical challenges, and we're starting to hear this over and over. And again, even when reporters ask, like ourselves, we kind of hear very late, and this seems to be a pattern that's developing with them. Look, this is a fun application, but there are real challenges with the size and scale. To put this in perspective, a year ago, this company was worth more than Uber, ByteDance. And so this isn't a teeny little startup. It's not a plunky little company. This is a company that at least U.S. regulators say have a responsibility to make sure, and not just U.S. regulators, many in the security community as well have issued warnings, and they want to make sure that Americans' data is not being compromised.
I thought it was really funny over Thanksgiving. My 15-year-old nephew, we were teasing him, and I said something like, I'm going to tell your mom what I see on Instagram. And he's like, I'm not on Instagram. And my sister goes, oh, yeah, well, what about your Snapchat account? And he was like, Don't want you looking there, Mom.
Right.
So TikTok and Snapchat for him. Really interesting stuff. They haven't responded. I know we said that they responded.
They responded
to CBS
late,
News.
about an hour ago.
Okay.
But so it is just this pattern that we see where regulators, even reporters, ask a question, and there is this reticence to engage. So the other real issues here are about censorship, and we've seen issues with them censoring or allegedly censoring posts about the protests happening in Beijing, as well as about the Uyghur Muslims, the marginalized group that has been targeted by the Chinese government.
I remember there was a story where a young girl, it was ostensibly trying to show that she was tweezing her eyebrows or something,
Yeah.
and she talked about the Uyghur situation, and the response from TikTok had a lot of people scratching their heads. It was pretty disturbing. Dan, so great to have you, my friend. Thank you very much. Taking our
Good to
minds
see
off
you.
of what's going on in D.C. I appreciate it.